All right, perfect. All right, so what was the concept behind this comic, and like what was your like initial thought process behind making it?
It was like a flash of inspiration one night, uh, where like I always loved comics, but I didn't know I was going to be making comics at that moment. I just kind of like had a bunch of ideas pop into my head while joking
Mhm.
around about driverless cars. Like I was just like high and drunk with some friends and messing around.
Yeah.
So it was like definitely like I made a joke, and then but I also had like just a rush of images flow through my brain, which doesn't always happen. And I got
Yeah.
really obsessed with it. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and during the pandemic, I finally made it. But yeah, the original idea was just the concept of this driverless car that would like, I don't know, just like the helplessness of what it means to be like a human in the face of like really omnipotent technology is sort of where the idea came from, I think. Because the original,
Yeah.
I was just joking around about being like plastered to the back of a driverless car and like, doing all kinds of crazy things, and then adding the sort of political figure that people will see as we flip through it. That came
Mhm.
later, and it was like I wasn't sure if I should do it. I'm still not sure if I'm going to leave him in future issues, but really, I just kind of got obsessed with the idea of like this car that drives around and lobotomizes people, takes their brain out, and puts a mechanical brain in,
Yeah.
and like when I made this issue, I didn't really know what the bigger world was.
Mhm.
I was making it up as I was doing it, but now I've written a ton more, so now I know much more about how the car fits into the world.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, that is like that's literally how all my comics start. Also, I kind of just, oh, I want to draw this. I want to draw monsters, and I want to draw people who could transform into monsters. So let me make, and then that's kind of where AWOL kind of comes from. And then it's kind of like this flash of inspiration, and then I end up just trying to dive. I literally build it as I go, just like as I start drawing, I start scripting and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people kind of do that, like especially people who are like writer artists like us, who kind of just are like doing it all themselves. They don't really think too much about the grand thing. It's just kind of like I have this, I want to see this image on a page, so I'm gonna just do that.
Yeah.
So from that initial thought to making a comic, what when did you get to the point of like, all right, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter for this, and that and all that?
Um. Oh, you have the comic. Does it say what when I printed it? It says copyright.
It
Wait,
says 2022.
right. So in
January 2022.
2022,
Mhm.
I was I think I always knew I was going to do a Kickstarter from when I first started making it. Like I just knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like a just I don't really know how to think how to describe why I knew that, but I just knew that. But it was my first one. I'll say that. I have a cousin who's a pretty famous artist, and her husband were like, "Do you know what you're getting into?" And they were kind of scaring me. They're like, "It's a ton of work. You gotta get you gotta get a fulfillment service." And I'm like, "Well, that's you guys. You guys make massive sales. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it all myself," and I did.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, same with me. I kind of was just like, it was kind of just like a rush of inspiration. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a Kickstarter. Because after I saw Brian's Kickstarter, what he did, and I had backed a bunch of Kickstarters before that, so I kind of saw the structure of how it works and stuff like that. It kind of was just like a natural progression. Just like, let me just do it and see what happens. And I
Yeah,
felt like this comic was the one that felt confident enough that would do well on Kickstarter, and then also just like to see what happens. So I mean, that's cool. And you did really well. I mean, when we did our live stream together and you were talking about it, and I didn't really, you did like hella, you did really, really well on the Kickstarter. You did really, really good. So I was just like, damn, man. And then you got like some cool variant covers. You got a Brandon Graham cover, which is super sick.
he
He's a really
hopped
great
in.
artist.
He did that right in the middle of the Kickstarter. I just DM'd him. You know, I think I just wanted him to know that I had a Kickstarter, and he offered
Mhm.
because I always wanted to do a cover, but I didn't even ask him. He offered it, and I was like, hell
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's the best.
He was the easiest to work with. Um,
Yeah. That's how
he's
I felt when you did the
he
cover for me. I
literally.
was like,
What do you say?
sorry. No, continue.
Oh no, I was gonna say he literally offered to like collaborate on it. Like I
Mhm.
sketch, he draws, I finish. Like he's fluid as hell. Like he's down to do whatever, man. Which is
Damn,
wild. Because
that's
some
dope.
people, I have another. I won't mention names or go into details, but other people are really particular, and they don't want you to tweak anything that they've done.
Mhm.
Whereas he's the opposite. Because I don't know. Have you read Prophet when he did Image? He redid Prophet um, with a team of people like Farrell Dalrymple and a few other artists. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I know, I've heard of it. I haven't checked out a lot of his stuff. I only checked out a few of his works that he's done so far. I need to do a more like a deeper dive of like his stuff and like all that stuff. But
It's just
yeah,
super
like I mean,
cool
I've
because
seen his art.
he had a real collaborative process where he was like laying out, other people were finishing, and I think they were all just helping each other's art. You know, there wasn't like a this is me and that's you and we don't cross
Mhm.
over. He's just like he's all about trying things, which is cool.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's
Yeah.
that's like how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like if people should be able to take input and not be too precious about like what they're doing and stuff. You know, I feel like a lot of artists kind of get into that mindset of
Yeah.
just like being too precious about everything. For me, it's like I mean, I've only collaborated so far with like colorists because I'm not like I just haven't taken the time to really learn how to color. I mean, I know how to color a little bit, but it's not like my wheelhouse right now. I'm focusing on the basic stuff for at least.
Oh
So
yeah.
when I go to colorist, the only thing I really care about is like is if I can tell that you actually cared when you were doing it. Because obviously I have to commission these people and stuff like that, and I've had at least two times where I've commissioned people and they were kind of you could tell they were just trying to do the job and get it over with. And the other two people that I've done for the covers, my
The AWOL
cover for
cover.
issue 1, 2, and the issue 3 is a different colorist. All three of those two guys, you could tell they actually cared about what they were doing.
Yeah, they did
Regardless
great
if it was
work.
a job or not. So like I really appreciated those guys, and I'm like probably gonna continue working with them because I know that they're actually gonna give a shit at the very least, or what I'm saying, they're giving like feedback, so we were corresponding. It wasn't just like, oh, here I pay you, and then a week later, what do you think? It was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
like one guy, he kind of gave me like 3 different breakdowns. Like, do you want like this? Do you want like this? Do you want like this? How does it? So I always really appreciate that. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. What I'm saying? Like if I did something for somebody, I would want to talk to them so they get the what I'm saying, because it's like a product at the end of the day. It's weird, but so
Yeah.
did you do the colors so you did all the art for this book, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
man,
mean,
this is
speaking of color, this was my like trial by fire. I didn't really know how to color professional comics at this point. When I was doing that first page
mm,
and this spread right here, that's I had a moment where I was like, all right, I have to stop. I can't keep coloring the way I'm coloring. I had to stop. I found I think Kurt with colors or colors with Kurt or something like that.
yeah, I've seen this
You
channel.
know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Yeah, he has a bunch of really good tutorials, and I learned how to flat, which was like the primary thing. I learned a bunch of other things from him too, but
Hmm.
primarily flatting because I was literally just going in and coloring in the lines, which was
Oh
insane,
damn.
especially with this spread that we're looking at right now.
Hmm.
It was like 3 days had gone by and it was off, and I was just like hitting my head against the wall, and I was and then it occurred to me like if you do a flat, you can highlight areas, you can select
Hmm.
areas, you can do things much quicker. So I totally like stopped. I was like, if I'm going to color this whole comic and future comics, I got to learn the right way. So I did. I went back,
Yeah.
started flatting, and it made a huge difference. I was able to color much quicker.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like for me, coloring is just like a daunting task, and I'm always like when I do color, I just straight up just do flats. Like I have a brush, a Procreate brush, just kind of looks like a gouache, like watercolor brush. So I'll just use a flat color and I'll just put the flat color and don't even worry about like anything else. I mean, sometimes I'll do a
Yeah,
little bit of cell shading here and there, but it's not like I said, I haven't really took my time to really like study, the complementary colors and tertiary colors and and all that, how make it work. So when I do color some myself, I always feel like this is like I'm either like it just doesn't feel right to me because it's kind of muddy, at least in my mind. But I
yeah,
mean, this thing looks crazy, man. Like I love the perspective. I love the how you portrayed the motion in the wheels with the light itself. And I feel
right.
like you had a really good vision of like what the world was going to look like, where it is kind of futuristic. Like all the buildings have their own individualized look to it, where it does look futuristic, but you also can tell what's going on. And then you set the scene with the sun going down with was it Zuzu on the back of the bike and the it's her baby skull, I think is her name.
Yeah,
So I
man,
think
you
it's
got
super
it.
sick, man. This is like a money shot right here. This is like you show anybody this, and they're like, oh yeah, this is legit.
That's a funny page too because when I sketch, it often takes me like a long time, but like this is the original sketch for it, and and I did it like when I say I snapped, like I did it really fast. It came out like perfect on the first try, and that never happens, man. That's like I mean I should say it happens very rarely. Usually it's
Yeah.
like got to redraw things and tweak it, but yeah, that page just came out quick.
Yeah, that was dope, man. That's sick. So what was like like as you were going, when did you start building up like, okay, I'm gonna do this gang of these skull people and they are like on this like to me it kind of seemed like this anarchist mission of, I don't know if that's a word, but like mission of like, okay, we're gonna go and get this guy who's getting double crossed by buddy right here with the earpiece. And like, when did that start like flowing in where you're gonna start doing all that?
It's funny because this skulls are like something I've worked into everything I've done for like my whole life, really. And like I made a bunch of costumes for music videos, so I have like masks like that I kind of modeled all the characters after, that I made for music videos. Wow. And again, like when I was making this, I hadn't really thought through how it all worked. But I did have a vague idea. But now I know who they are, and it's funny that you said like it gives you like an anarchist sort of feel, because they're definitely like, I'll just spoil it. They're privatized. They work for a corporation, you know, and like pretty nefarious corporation, I would say. Like it's really not. They're up to no good, really. But yeah, it goes back to like old costumes I made, and then sort of like becoming obsessed with this world of paramilitary. I'll just call them psycho killers, man, because that's really what they are.
Yeah. The only reason I kind of like got the vibe of like the anarchist thing was because, I mean, obviously the character, his name is Donald Britton, or, you know, he's, you know, so I thought he might have been like some higher up type of person, and they were kind of like, you know, doing something political that was like anti-establishment. But and I mean, the guns for hire thing kind of makes sense as well. What was the idea behind like building up the android women? You know, I don't know if she's like a prostitute or she's just there, a tool for, you know, political gain or whatever, but because it kind of gives me like this Blade Runner feel, you know what I'm saying? Like as though I kind of get from like these robot people and stuff like those. Where did that concept come from?
I never know what I should or shouldn't say, because it's like that's sort of something you're not supposed to know, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's something for the plot, then yeah, just keep it like, but just like the concept, I guess. You know,
I always say that Neon Spring was like it was a corporation started by humans, right? But then machines and super intelligence took over. It's like there's almost no humans really running it at all at the point where my story begins. And Zuzu is a human who has two other people in her head, and and she's coming from Neon Spring. Like she's been missing for a long time, and in my comic she's like returning after having been missing. And I mean, I don't know. I would tell you offline, but publicly I don't want
to. No, I got you. I'm gonna flip through some of this X-rated stuff, but
I'm all about like not explaining, even in the comic. Like I'm debating how much I'm going to even explain over the course of the story, and how much I'm going to leave a mystery. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. Yeah, definitely. Like, so how far are you ahead as far as just like writing on to the next, you know, issues and stuff like that?
I haven't written like a full solid issue. Like I have issue 1 that's like a lot written for it, and I have a ton of other writing, and I've written, you know, I have all kinds of documents. I have like a document that's like very short little like blurbs explaining, you know, how I get from the beginning to the end. And then I got, you know, character documents and other documents, and then I got just a document that's just I just throw everything at it. If I don't know what it is, I just throw it into that document. And I even have like a board full of like, you know, I think I plotted out like 12 issues.
Oh wow.
I'm thinking about the first story arc, because I know like a bunch of big arcs, and I need to stop doing that. I need to just make issue 1. I'm ready. It's time.
Yeah, man, I'm waiting, because man, it's like even this page, right? It's just super sick. Like the perspective, how you were able to get the interior of the car with the like the hot, like the rail, you can see the lights beam. Like that's super, man. That's great. Like like I'm like, honestly, I'm surprised like you haven't like sent in like a submission to somebody to be like, all right, you know, come produce my book or something like that. I think that would be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. This is phenomenal.
Hopefully someday, man.
Yeah.
You know, this page specifically, like I'll say that like this is the image that kept me going, you know, because I do, you know, I can't even say like none of it turned out exactly the way it like sort of was in my head, but this was the one image that I was like, I dedicated years to make this issue just because that image alone.
Yeah, I feel that's literally like my home. Like I heard, I think I was watching a podcast or somebody artists talk on YouTube before, where they were like saying like, I draw some comics just so I can see certain things, and like I was saying earlier, and I feel like I definitely get that feeling for sure. And then this is the prediction of the future that you
Yeah, it's so crazy that it was like so specific too.
Yeah,
The exact same ear. I mean,
ear and everything. Yeah, so like I
so
was
weird.
just like, bro, when I was reading, because when you first sent me the books, I got flipped through it and I was like, oh, this is cool. I see what you're talking about because you were telling me about like the political stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then when you showed me that, when I saw that, like I reread it a couple of days after we booked the interview, like fully read it, and I was like, wait a minute, bro, what year did this come out? You know, and then I was like, dude, this is like 3 years before this even was thought about. So I thought it's interesting how you kind of like, so you kind of, I wouldn't say you manifested, but it was like just a really interesting coincidence that like the ear, what I'm saying, the character looks like, Donald Trump and all that stuff. So I was like, damn, that's wild.
I was just about to say it's eerie, not even trying to make a pun, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
eerie, man.
Yeah. I love this, like how you show like the background and it just shows the motion of just like how fast is this car going, the color, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's really dope.
Are you able to zoom in at all?
I think so.
Oh
Let me
yeah,
see.
where
This
you
is,
can. You are.
okay, so it shows it on, let me see if it shows it on the screen.
Can you just go
Um,
back 1 or 2 pages? I'm not
oh, you
sure.
can. Oh, yeah, I could have been zoomed in. Fuck, that's fucked up. What page?
One more. One more. All right, yeah. So the bottom left frame on that spread. Can you zoom in on that?
Which one? The ear or the brain?
The bottom left, where he's the
Oh,
where
yeah.
his. So like, I'm pointing this out just because I had like a hero tell me that like I should hire a colorist, which
Mm-hmm.
I agree with on many levels. But I also don't think there's any colorist that I ever could have hired that would have done this, like figured out how to color this panel, like the way the city is in the background, like the way I did that, like
Yeah.
I literally like took like samples from other pages and like distorted it and angled it so it looks like
Mm,
that. And so I just feel like it's like I do want to hire a colorist, but like I
yeah.
needed to do this to figure things out so that I could like give a colorist a place to jump off from.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, I would say only hire colors just so you can save yourself time, like for future issues. But like to me, dude, you're killing it, man. The whole issue is just the vibe, the red, pink hues throughout the whole entire book with like the complementary greens and blues that kind of like make the background look great. Like I don't know, I really like it, but I would say the higher one just so you can make the book go by, so you can get producing faster. But I mean, this panel alone is super dope, man. I just love like the expression on his face, the brain being sliced open and all that stuff, and even like the background, it kind of reminds me of like Akira Neo Tokyo, like in the scenes in the very beginning of the movie where they're riding the bikes, you kind of see like the skies moving and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, you killed it, man. This is amazing.
Thanks for zooming in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm learning. So these are like, I'm saying, these are all trial and error. I can definitely try to figure out how to zoom. You know what I'm
I respect
saying?
I respect just figuring things out as you go, man.
No, yeah, got you, man. It's brand new channels. I can do what I want on it. But this is cool. But like, I just love the perspective. Like, he just has like tears running down. He's like his last like fear before he's like, oh, well, now I'm just brain dead. Don't even know what's going on. So I love the mother character. Kind of everybody's kind of like low key intimidated by her, where she's like everybody's like she's super smart. Like, what do you want to do about it? Like, I think that's pretty interesting. I love this eye. That's super cool.
Yeah, I'll spoil something. Zuzu's on
Mhm.
a mission, and she doesn't know it at like in issue 1. She's not entirely sure what the mission is yet, but she quickly figures out the mission is to extract Mother from the deep block,
Mhm.
which is like inside the car. Mother's not even in the car. It's like a kernel of Mother. Like
No,
the
okay.
full Mother is in this like is deep underground in this like facility called the deep
Mm.
block.
Dang. So are you like a fan of like like Neo, like those type of movies, like I said, like Blade Runner, or
Oh yeah,
like those type of movies that kind of, because that's where I literally get that influence from here, like which is like the robot people, the neo futuristic cityscapes and stuff like that.
I love it, man. I mean, I'm like a super open-minded person. Like I'm kind of into everything. Like I'll even watch
Hmm.
bad kids animation, like just to keep a finger on the pulse a little bit. But like I tend to like adult stuff, but I like movies of all kinds. I like comics of all kinds. But as a result of making Neon Spring, I've definitely dove into the world of sci-fi more than I ever have before.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. I like the this effect how you were able to get like the flashing cameras. I think that's really dope.
Yeah, they're like headlights. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, this is great, man. This is really great, man. You should definitely be working professional. This page right here, this page blew me away when I first saw it. Like
Word.
the city, the perspective right here. Like that is amazing. You make it's so full, and then you have like all these cars flying around just in the background. Like, man. And did you? So you drew this all paper and pencil, or you did it digitally?
This is all on paper, and there's an artist named Ian Bertram who told me that Paul Pope told him to work huge, so I worked huge. These pages are gigantic, and
Dang,
I've
what
since
size?
it's like 18 by 24, maybe a little bigger.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's absurd. I'm working 11 by 17 now. Like
Yeah.
maybe sometimes I'll work bigger, and I might even do a couple images on canvas, but for the most part, I'm really trying to get into a flow where I crank out pages, so I won't be working that big. But this page, in contrast to that other page where I showed the thumbnail and I told you
Mhm.
like it came together really quickly, this page was the opposite. Like I redrew this page like 20 times, and
Oh damn.
it was a big struggle to figure all of it out. And even actually, I did some digital touch-ups too, because I showed it to friends, and I actually had to add 4 more pages after I showed it to friends. And this page in particular, like Zuzu looked real like skinny, so I digitally touched her up. Like there's just things that I had to fix.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went through, I changed Zuzu's shoes digitally, so I
Mhm.
redrew every time you see her shoes, like I had to redraw that digitally.
Oh wow. That's crazy, man. That's dope, man. I would love to see these originals one day. How did you scan those in?
I had a friend who had this funny scanner where it sucks it in, and that didn't work.
Oh.
I forget why it failed, but it didn't work. And then I paid to get some done. It was too expensive,
Mhm.
so I just photographed it. I just tile it.
Oh
I just
wow.
take my iPhone, take it outside, and like if it's an overcast day, it's great. But I just shoot it outside because the lighting's even, and photo merge it together in Photoshop.
Yeah, that works. That makes sense.
Some
That's
people
interesting.
are against that, but if I didn't tell you that, you would never know.
Yeah, it's not like you would know. Like,
Yeah.
because honestly, once you put it in digitally, you fuck with the levels a little bit. It's like who like you know, so you would never know.
I mean,
You would never.
iPhones take really high resolution pictures, and if you're
Mhm.
tiling it on top of that, then you're getting good information in there.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. That's crazy, man. Yeah, because when I started working on traditionally, I started off doing the A4 paper, like the deleter paper, and then I was like, yeah, this is too small. Like I don't like I
How
just
big
draw
is it?
big and it so the I don't know, it's like 11 by like 12 or some not even that big. It's like 14 by 9. I don't honestly I have no idea. It's the deleter A4 paper. And I
Okay.
was like, I'm gonna start smaller because maybe I'll go faster. But then I realized like I just draw big in general, like the way I function and stuff, like so I'll just
Yeah.
move to 11 by 17, and then the 11 by 17 just works because the way because when I was doing that, I was doing straight up like drawing everything on the paper, and then like my pencils, inks, and everything like that on paper. But now I do a traditional digital blend where I just do all my pencils and stuff, blue line, ink it out, print it out, and then just ink it on paper. But yeah, so now I just work 11 by 17, and then Brian found like this like you can like 11 by 17 printer paper for like you can get like 250 pages for like $20. So I was like, I've just been getting stocks of those.
You're talking about like regular thin, like kind of shitty printer paper?
Yeah, I mean it's still Bristol board quality, so it's still
Oh,
two
it is.
ply. It's just not like you know how like the Bristol board paper could be kind of like has like the texture and stuff on it. It's not as
Yeah.
texturized, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's like the right word, but like it's not as rough, I guess. Depending, it's kind of like just like regular printer paper, like but it's just big and
It's
it's
thick.
thick. So like
I've been
I
I've
can
been
use
doing
watercolor and
pencils.
stuff on it. It won't fuck up.
I've been doing pencils on really thin, shitty printer paper recently. Not for everything,
Hmm.
but then I'll like put it on a light box and then transfer that to a nicer piece of paper. But there's something about like working on really cheap, shitty, smooth paper
Yeah,
that it's just easier, and it's easier, and it's psychological because I don't care that it's
yeah.
not a nice piece of paper, so I'm not worried. You
Yeah,
know?
me too. That's how I feel about. I'm like I'm not because like I said, it's $20. You get 250 pages. So I was like, I don't care if I fuck them up or
Yeah,
I have to like I fuck up on printing. Like a few times I will print and like my printer will misprint, and so I'm just like whatever. I'll just flip it over. I'll just throw it away. And you know what I'm saying? Because it's literally cheap as hell. I love the colors right here. You're using the background for this the cityscape, like the blues and stuff like that. Looks really that shit looks crazy. And then this is a dope uh panel too. That's a
that's
really dope
another
panel.
that's another thing that like kept me going, just knowing that I
Mhm.
was gonna have this moment. It was like,
Yeah, I feel that. That's dope, man. Yeah, so this is kind of like you kind of get a feel for like what's the bigger world. I love the designs of these guys. the Skull Gang, or you know, have you whatever their name is? Did you use reference when you were like designing all the vehicles, or you kind of just like, you know, modeled them off for nothing? Or
Yeah, I use a ton of reference because I had to learn how to draw cars and motorcycles while doing this. But I
yeah, for
definitely
sure.
tried to make them, you know, I tried to design them so they were my own, but
Mhm.
they're definitely not from my head.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does that anymore. Like I use reference for that, like for vehicles, weapons. I have like this Baki action figure that I use when I draw like the
Nice.
like my characters and stuff like that, because it's like the muscles and stuff. So I always just like use it whenever I try to figure out funny muscles and stuff, because I don't feel like looking at pictures all the time. Like I have like this Bible, what do they call them? Like the Morgue file where I have all the reference in it, but
Yeah.
I just don't even. It's just easier for me to pick something up. This is a cool panel. This is like you added like your panels and just kind of zoomed in on them.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's like something you should always remember because you can always crop your images, and there's often something gold in a crop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can use it as its own pinup or its own like end page or whatever. You know.
There goes the ear right there again.
Yeah, they're like little. It's like showing you little bits of the puzzle.
Yeah, and then you had this painting that you did. So where did you do this? Like on a canvas, or you did this on a building or something? Or
I did that on a 4x8 piece of plywood at Brooklyn Comic Con. Brooklyn Comic Con hired my friend to curate a bunch of artists to paint live one year, and my friend was like, "Yo, let's like help me." So I helped him. I helped him go get the plywood. I helped get a bunch of artists, and Brooklyn Comic Con hadn't planned out anything, so I helped figure out where the hell we were going to even paint. And we painted all day. I was pretty scared doing this because I was like, I didn't know if I could, but
Mhm.
I mixed spray paint and house paint, and just like fear like had me moving, man. I moved real fast on it. And then
That's
we
funny.
had one of those. I don't know if you see videos in New York during rains these days, but these days when it
Mhm.
rains hard in New York, there's flooding everywhere.
No damn.
And we had one of those nights, and we abandoned all
Oh,
the pieces. We just ran and left them, and
oh.
and the pieces went missing. And then one day, someone posted the piece, and I found where it is. It's like in the restaurant that one of the owners of Brooklyn Comic Con they own a restaurant, so
Oh,
I
well,
know
that's good.
where
They
it is.
saved it.
Maybe someday I'll go try to reclaim it.
That's funny. And is your like logo, or just kind of like something
That's the
you
Soul
designed
Squad.
specifically for the book?
That's
Is it
the
what
Soul
now?
Squad logo.
Okay, all right. I was thinking that was my next thing, but yeah, that's dope. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Man,
you'll see they have it on their shoulders. That it'll pop up. Um,
man, great comic, dude.
yeah,
Great
baby
comic. So
Soul
I
Squad.
mean, if you guys in the chat want a copy of this, you can go to Ian's website, and he has you said a ton of all right.
I do. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of the Alexis Zarit variant cover soon,
Mhm.
and probably Brendan Graham soon behind that. But I have plenty of all the other covers still.
Sweet.